Hey everyone, this is Larry. Welcome back to TodayIFeelLike.com. Today is July 12th. It's my birthday, and today we are here at the James Monroe Museum and Presidential Library in Virginia, and we are going to go check out some James Monroe stuff. So let's go check him out. There he is, right there. Here we go. All right, here we are, James Monroe Library. Check this all out. This is the Presidential Museum and Library. And we'll take a look over here at James Monroe so we can see what he looks like. And there he is. So, looks like a pretty normal dude. Looks like he could probably fit in today. But, yeah. Alright, here is a little bit about the Monroe Doctrine. If you guys don't know what that is, here's a little bit about it. The main effects of it say that, first, the American hemisphere is no longer open to colonization. Second, the United States has no desire to interfere in internal affairs of Europe. And three, that the United States will consider any attempt by a European power to control an American nation as a hostile act against the United States. So, if you guys have ever heard of the Monroe Doctrine, those are the three basic principles, and they have been used to have us interfere with other countries' internal affairs for a long, long time, including George W. Bush using it to somehow stretch all the way to Iraq, which I don't get because it's nowhere near the Western Hemisphere. All right, this is the Monroe Doctrine desk. So this is a desk. This is part of a larger set of furniture that he bought in France and brought back with him to the U.S., and this is where supposedly he pinned the Monroe Doctrine right there on sitting at that desk. All right, so here's some about Monroe here and all of his exploits. So he was our fifth president, served 2 terms, but he also held pretty much every single elected position that one could hold. And he was an ambassador to England, to France. He negotiated the Louisiana Purchase, so he was able to work that out. He also was part of the Missouri Compromise, which, if you guys don't know, was about having Missouri enter the Union as a non-slave state. So, anyways, dude did a whole bunch. But interesting, what I found is that he was actually a slaveholder who was against ending the slave trade. So, I don't know. Dude had some conflicts going on there, but it says he was an advocate of eventually ending the slave trade. So, who knows? Strange guy, but from everything we're reading here, they talk about his accomplishments, but they don't really say much about who he was as a man. So, kind of interested to find out what kind of person he was. So, like many of the men at the time, or powerful men at the time, he was a Mason. And here is a shot of his Masonic apron right there, so we can check that out. And it says he was first inducted into the Williamsburg Lodge of Freemasons shortly after his arrival in the capital, enrolled as a student at the College of William and Mary. So the apron was presented to him when he joined the Fredericksburg Lodge in 1786. So there you have it. That is his Masonic apron, and this is a vest that he wore. It says it's made of silk and linen and satin, and it is it's French origin. So there we have it. Some of the stuff that he wore. All right, this is a flag of the colonies and some of his military memorabilia. So he was a soldier. So you can see here that there is his sword right there. It says his sword was actually made in France, but the blade was made in France, but the hilt and the grip were made here in the colonies, or in the U.S., those colonies then. And then there's his bayonet. You also have a flint kit, so there's that. And then you also had right there a powder tester, which I've never actually heard of before, but apparently the powder tester is so that you can test whether or not your gunpowder had been exposed to moisture. So there's also a canteen up there. So anyways, some of his military stuff, so you guys can check that out. All right, now this is something cool that I did not know, and that is that James Monroe was actually part of the crossing of the Delaware. So, if you guys don't know, the crossing of the Delaware was when George Washington and led his troops across the Delaware in the freezing cold black of night over to Trenton to fight and help turn the tide of the war. So, there you have that. But interestingly enough, that he was, James Monroe was one of the few men that was actually injured in that battle. There was only, I think, like 9 people that were injured. There were no casualties on the American side from that war. And, but he was hit with a musket ball. And here's the story. It says he was hit with a musket ball, in the shoulder, and he would have died, except he had actually, the night before, met and befriended a surgeon. So the guy had, they were camped out near the guy's home. The guy came out, gave him food, was taken by him, and decided that he would go with them as a surgeon the next day to the battle. And that surgeon that they had met the night before actually saved Monroe's life. And that guy's name was Dr. Riker. So anyways, just a little interesting tidbit there. So they call it here a chance encounter. I would say that's probably divine providence that you meet a surgeon the day before you get shot and that surgeon saves your life. All right, everyone, so there you have it. That is a look at the James Monroe Presidential Museum and Library. It was pretty cool seeing it. There's a lot of history in there. They talk a lot about what he did for the country and where he was during the Revolutionary War, his service as, in the military, his time as a lawyer, things leading up to him becoming president, for instance, being a diplomat and such, heading over to Paris and England. So all kinds of interesting facts about him. I didn't get a good feeling about who he was as a man, though. I'd really like to know if he was a good man, a bad man, a funny man, a serious man. Didn't feel like I got a very personal touch of what kind of person he was. So, but anyhow, if you guys get a chance to come check it out. I'm going to leave a link in the video description so you guys can check out the museum online and maybe come out here and see it yourself one day. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel. And follow me on Facebook. And I am Larry, TodayIFeelLike.com. Thanks for coming back to see me. Come back and see me soon. And until next time, love, peace, and hair grease. Peace.